The Velkari council chamber hummed with the low-frequency vibrations of concern. Ambassador Thexnor stood before the holographic display, his three eyes focused on the blue-green planet rotating in the center of the room. Earth. Such a small, insignificant world in the grand tapestry of the galaxy. Yet it had become the subject of heated debate among the most powerful civilizations known to exist. The humans are expanding too quickly, hissed Commander Zralthos, his scaled hide reflecting the chamber's bioluminescent walls. In merely 200 cycles, they've established colonies on 17 worlds. Their appetite for resources is insatiable. Thexnor's mandibles clicked thoughtfully. As the Velkari Oracle, a title earned through centuries of studying countless civilizations, he had seen empires rise and fall like stars in the cosmic dance. But humanity troubled him in ways he couldn't fully articulate. They are ambitious, yes, Thexnor replied carefully. But ambition alone does not warrant preemptive action. Then what does? Demanded General Kavas, her four arms gesturing emphatically. They've reverse-engineered our quantum drives in a fraction of the time it took us. They're unpredictable, aggressive, and worst of all, they're united in ways we've never seen from a species so young. Thexnor had visited Earth once, decades ago, walking among humans in a disguised form. He had observed their cities, listened to their music, tasted their food. But more importantly, he had studied their history, a blood-soaked tapestry of endless conflict and remarkable resilience. What he learned there haunted him still. I urge caution, the Oracle said, his voice carrying the weight of his position. If you strike first, they'll never stop. This I have foreseen. The council erupted in a cacophony of alien languages, translators struggling to keep pace. General Kavas's voice cut through the noise. Your prophecies have guided us well, Oracle, but this time you ask us to gamble our civilization's safety on a warning that makes no sense. They are one species against the might of the Galactic Coalition. What can they possibly do? Thexnor's silence was his only answer. The vote was called. The Oracle watched, helpless, as the decision was made. The Velkari would lead a coalition strike against humanity's outer colonies. A show of force. A clear message that humanity must know its place in the galactic hierarchy. 3 weeks later, the coalition fleet emerged from quantum space above Proxima Station, humanity's largest mining operation. 15,000 humans lived there, miners, engineers, families. The attack was supposed to be surgical, a demonstration of power. It went perfectly. Lisa Martinez floated in zero gravity, her engineering suit covered in the grime of a 12-hour shift repairing atmospheric processors. The station's alarms caught her mid-drink from a water pouch, the liquid forming crystalline spheres around her face as she turned to see the flashes of weapons fire through the viewport. She didn't have time to scream before the section decompressed. James. Chen was in the command center when the distress signal came through. As a lieutenant in the Colonial Defense Force, he'd trained for this scenario, but nothing prepared him for watching Proxima Station break apart on the tactical display. 15,000 souls gone in minutes. Sir, we're receiving a transmission from the attackers, his communications officer reported. Voice shaking, the alien message was clear. Cease expansion. Dismantle your outer colonies. Accept your place as a junior member of the Galactic Order, or face annihilation. James's hands trembled as he forwarded the message to Earth Command. He knew what it meant. He'd studied enough history to understand. Humanity had been here before, facing enemies who thought overwhelming force would break their spirit. Those enemies had always been wrong. Thexnor watched the aftermath with growing dread. The Coalition celebrated their successful operation. 0 casualties on their side. The human colony destroyed. Message delivered, but the Oracle saw what others missed. He watched Earth's response unfold across 1,000 channels. The grief, the fury, the cold, calculated determination that settled over humanity like a shroud. They didn't surrender. They didn't negotiate. They adapted human factories which had been producing civilian vessels retooled overnight. Their scientists, who had been studying quantum theory for peaceful purposes, weaponized everything they learned. Their soldiers, who had known only minor skirmishes, trained with the intensity of a species facing extinction. But it was their unity that truly terrified him. Every human nation, every colony, every faction that had squabbled and competed, they spoke with one voice now. One purpose. 6 months after Proxima Station fell, humanity struck back. Not at military targets, not at infrastructure. They targeted the coalition's quantum communication relays, the network that held the alliance together. In one coordinated assault, they severed the coalition's ability to communicate across light years. Then they vanished, their fleets melting into the darkness between stars, using tactics no one had anticipated: hit and run. Guerrilla warfare on an interstellar scale. They struck supply lines, research stations, isolated outposts. Never where expected. Always where it hurt most. They're everywhere. Commander Zeralthos screamed during an emergency council session. How can one species be in 50 systems simultaneously? Thexnor could have told him. Humans had spent millennia perfecting the art of warfare against overwhelming odds. They didn't fight like the coalition expected, with honor, with clear battle lines, with proportional response. They fought to win. Lisa Martinez survived Proxima Station by clinging to a piece of debris. Her suit's emergency beacon attracting a rescue ship 3 days later. She recovered, retrained, and now piloted a stealth fighter, painting small silhouettes on her cockpit for every coalition ship she disabled. James Chen rose to captain, then commodore. His strategies, born from studying human history, from ancient guerrilla campaigns to 20th century insurgencies, became the template for humanity's resistance. He never forgot the faces he watched die at Proxima Station. 2 years into the war, the coalition fractured. Species that had united against humanity turned on each other, unable to coordinate, bleeding resources, losing territory. The humans offered peace terms, harsh, uncompromising, but not extinction. The coalition had no choice but to accept. Thexnor stood once more before the council, now a shadow of its former glory. General Kavas was gone, her homeworld blockaded by human fleets until her government surrendered. You were right, Oracle, Commander Zeralthos admitted, his voice hollow. We should have listened. You should have, Thexnor agreed quietly. I studied their history. I saw what they did to each other when divided. I warned you. If you strike first, they'll never stop. He paused, his 3 eyes reflecting the dim light. Because humans don't just fight wars. They become the war, until nothing remains but victory or extinction, and they've never chosen extinction. In the silence that followed across light years of space, humanity continued building, expanding, stronger than before. Not as conquerors, but as survivors who had learned the hardest lesson. In a hostile galaxy, mercy is earned through strength and peace is guaranteed through the promise of endless war. The Oracle had been right. He always was. End.